Top of the morning to you, Brian F. Clips. Got my morning coffee here, ready to engage in some Twitter discourse. And yes, I addressed you, Brian F. Clips. This is going to the correct channel. This is not supposed to be meant for the main channel. I am putting this out for you guys on the Brian F. Clips channel. And I seem to have gotten caught up in a little bit of Twitter discourse. Everyone loves when it happens. It's a lot of fun. And this time it features our favorite tornado chucking friend, of course, Rashid. So Houdini here started out this whole sequence, this chain of events, by tweeting out this fun little clip, Rashid Mind Games. Check out what they actually posted here. Standard Rashid match. Pop into level 2. And they're just having a grand old time. That's a lot of fun. That's just some good old-fashioned Rashid shenanigans right there. What's not to love about all of that? Well, turns out that this, of course, kickstarted a lot of discussion about Rashid, what is fair, and his level 2. You know, first off, we had the response from, of course, the Prime Minister of Propaganda here, Big Bird, Adele. It's always funny how every single time there's any kind of character downplay discourse, Big Bird comes with facts and logic. People don't like that. Listen, whenever people want to express discontent with the current top tier, they don't want to hear practical solutions for what is relevant in the clip. They want to complain. Not that to say that Big Bird may not be doing this in a spirit of downplay, but there's a time and place for everything. So Big Bird here. No way people looking at play versus a Diamond 5 player and go, wow, nerf this character. About to post my Jamie beating up a silver player and say this character is broken. Now, this is kind of in the spirit of downplay. However, there is a hint of truth here because while this clip is hilarious, you know, you would never block this in a million years. This is Street Fighter 6, so you're not supposed to block it, right? Once this level 2 is popped, the Ryu player should not have done towards Fierce into the tornado, and they should have not gotten hit by this fancy flippity-floppity cross-up situation. They simply should have just been holding parry. We have a block button. There is no left, right, up, down mix anymore as long as you have drive meter. This should have been all 100% holding parry, nullified the mix, right? This is not actually the true strength of Rashid's level 2. If this is how Rashid got his wins, I wouldn't be complaining. Instead, the reality is he pops level 2 and you take your prescribed 2 throws and die in the next corner interaction. This is kind of fun. I kind of like this Rashid level 2 sequence. If this is what it was all about, you know, cartwheeling through the opponent and crossing them up every which way, breaking ankles, it would be a lot more fun to engage with and to watch as a spectator. But this got me thinking about the true dark nature of Rashid level 2. So I posted this clip from the CPT tournament that just transpired this past weekend, Kings of the World. There was an actual Nightmare Rashid round in this tournament. Here's my own reaction. John Takeuchi versus Shax. Top 32 winners. 2-time. Hold that. You gotta hold that. Okay. Double overhead. Oh, this is guaranteed. So he's gonna try to milk the burnout. Okay, he didn't risk it that much. If she managed to scramble her way out of there, he could lose the guaranteed damage. So he's just taking the guaranteed damage right now. But that was guaranteed, right? No super meter, early burnout. Wow, wow, wow. DI starter. Is that optimal for damage, or is he just going for drive meter build? Or drive gauge damage. Oh, another level 2. This is Nightmare Rashid round. Oh my god. This has been 50 seconds of you not playing versus Rashid. While this is not the average Rashid round with level 2, this is the actual reality of this non-interactive super taken to its absolute limit, right? If you get to the final round versus Rashid and he starts with 2 or 3 meters, he's going to get that early level 2, and in this situation, he manages to leverage that level 2 to push Shax into the corner, deplete his drive gauge, get a guaranteed stun because Shax had spent his level 3 the round before, so he had no recourse in that situation. Get 2 stuns because as soon as he's finished with the first stun interaction and the follow-up punish combo in the DP, he builds another level 2, and you just have to take it with little to no counterplay. And Shax, nearly in burnout, trying to avoid that situation, can't avoid it, ends up eating another stun, into the combo that kills. This is Rashid Nightmare round. This is as bad as it gets. Now, for context, Shaxx does actually end up winning this set. This is the first game in a first of two top 32 winner side set. Shaxx actually wins against John Takeuchi 2-1. So that's just a little bit of context to be fair to everybody. But I just thought this was funny because this is the actual oppressive nature of the level 2. The previous clip, which got a lot of attention, got people discussing Rashid's level 2, is kind of just a gimmick. It's funny, it looks interesting, it's flashy. The reality is the oppressive, non-interactive nature of Rashid's level 2 is what players actually have to deal with. But it got Twitter going, right? So let's go ahead and read some of the responses to this level 2 from the community here. Rashid down player should be in jail. Level 2, V-Trigger in Street Fighter V was and is still being one of the most broken and free things in Street Fighter. I remember when people said build meter nerf would be enough to stop Rashid madness. Sure, level 2 twice in a round still real. Tornado should be faster. So yeah, they did nerf the super meter build, I believe, while the tornado is active, which was meant to slow down Rashid's ability to build another level 2 to loop the situation again. But we can still see here, it still happens. 2 level 2s in 1 round. It's an interesting solution he provides to this. Tornado should be faster. A big problem with how this operates is that because the tornado is so slow and there's little to no way to get over it, around it, and avoid the situation, Rashid is able to approach behind it and apply a lot more variability in his mix. If Rashid was unable to walk so close behind the tornado, you would end up blocking the tornado sooner, reducing the number of mix-up attempts. Now Rashid can force a lot of strike throw mix by walking in and out of range, shimmying you. If you go to tech the throw, the tornado punishes you anyways if he avoids your throw tech. So speeding up the tornado would mean that you would block it sooner, get it off the screen. Rashid gets less real estate and less mix opportunity. That's an interesting approach to potentially tone this down. Remember not to listen to Rashid players when they say Rashid doesn't need nerfs. I don't know who is actually saying that out loud. At this point, if you're a Rashid player, the best thing to do is to lay low and stay quiet. Mothman here. This move really just needs any level of counterplay. The only things you can do now are hit the startup, LOL, or essentially take 2 throws or a 60% combo. I'd like to see reduced damage, reduced meter build, goes away when Rashid gets hit. What would you change? All 3? All 3 to the least nerfed, most busted move in decades for Street Fighter? I mean, since Street Fighter V, this V-Trigger, this was originally a V-Trigger that you earned every round by getting beat up, has been ridiculous. The damage, meter builds, I don't really care about any of those. I don't think that's going to change the utility that much. Goes away when Rashid gets hit would be huge. That would be a massive nerf. It would make this super so much weaker. It would be actually ridiculous to see. What would I change? At this point, I'm numb. This is what Capcom wants. This is Capcom's vision. Embrace it. Fierce here. But y'all want to talk about Kim. Listen, I know Kim is a strong character. Not Rashid strong. Strong character, though. We're going to complain about Kim. When Kim does Fierce Punch run into actual 5-way mix and there's no guaranteed counterplay as well, we're going to complain. We can complain about 2 things at once. It's okay. Rob TV character is insane. LMAO. I think that's the most appropriate reaction. But Anakin. I think what irks me about Super Art 2 is that it's utterly non-interactive in a game that basically lets you interact with anything as long as you have drive gauge. Crayon eating tier super. To clarify, I'd even be fine with Rashid being roughly as strong as he is right now. Just have some actual counterplay on Super Art 2 so both players can play the video game. Yeah, I think this round is the most extreme version of demonstrating how non-interactive it is. Even though Big Bird did chime in, he did have some choice words to point out the opportunity to counterplay. To be fair, Takeuchi messed up here and Shaxx could have punished the air dash and turn it around and prevent burnout. There was a window. Is that what the people want to hear right now? When they have the pitchforks out? No, the mob doesn't want to hear it. But it is true. These tiny nuances of counterplay and gaps to be exploited and matchup knowledge to leverage to turn the tides, it's extremely important at high level, no matter how unfair something may seem. So I think it's funny how Big Bird is always that person chiming in. Well, actually, pushing the glasses up there to confirm that yes, there was something you could have done, no matter how difficult and obscure and esoteric the solution might have been. It does exist. That's important to keep in mind as a competitor. Now, as a more casual player or as a fan, a spectator, you might think the imbalance of ease of access to control versus counterplay is not correct. Both totally fair things. These are ideas you can hold congruently in your mind. Yes, you should know the counterplay. Yes, this is busted and maybe should change. So Big Bird always represents the other side of the actual technical counterplay solution. But people don't want to hear it. This is why he gets the downplay accusations thrown his way. Fair? Maybe. Maybe not. Who cares at this point? Houdini, the person who actually kickstarted all of this off. Poor bottom 5 Rashid has to work so hard to win rounds. Indeed. Double C here. The fact that they recovered from the stun combo and then immediately lost 2 drive from blocking the follow-up pressure is blowing my mind. Yeah, I think that's also a big part of it, is just how aggressive this game is in terms of depleting your drive gauge and putting you into a situation where you are forced to then deal with DI or eat a checkmate, non-escapable drive impact into stun. Shaxx could have attempted to parry in a lot of these block string situations, but that would have opened him up to be potentially thrown, a punish counter throw, eat the damage, and take drive gauge damage anyways, which is good that there's no guaranteed option offensively or defensively, but it shows you how high stakes and aggro this game can be, and it's really demonstrated with that early stun and 2 stuns per round. Getting checkmated because Rashid popped mid-screen level 2 and you blocked it out with 4 dry bars is completely fucking ridiculous. What was Shaxx even supposed to do here? Well, to be fair, it wasn't checkmated, right? There were interactions where he could have made different choices. He could have attempted to parry the block strings, which is a risk. There were some gaps that he could have interrupted. He could have not have gone for the uppercut that got baited, right? There were other counterplay options. This wasn't as cut and dry as checkmate as it might seem. It was just very easy because of the round start level 2 for John Takeuchi to create this scenario where Shaxx was in danger of these things happening, right? Once the level 2 is on screen, you kind of have to deal with the offensive pressure. It was the interactions in between the level 2s that ended up, steamrolling or advancing the situation to the point where Shaxx had little to no recourse once the level 2 was on screen. So, just to be absolutely fair, we still have decisions that we can make. We're just in kind of a bad spot when dealing with Rashid level 2. Dustin Offerman, what a fraudulent robbery character. Does a 60-second perfect count as robbery? I'm not sure if you can even consider that a robbery. He didn't steal the round from you. You never had the round to begin with. It was never yours to begin with. That is the Rashid way. And anyways, I usually try to stay out of Twitter discourse as much as possible these days, but I couldn't help myself besides point out this round because I just remember seeing this live and thinking how absurd, how this is the pinnacle of BS Rashid rounds. My personal opinion about Rashid level 2, what hopes do I have for the future? Like I said before, I give up. I don't care. I think Rashid level 2 is busted, but it's also okay for some things to be broken in fighting games, I think. At the end of the day, I'm numb to it. It's part of the game. There is nuance and matchup awareness that you need to have as a high-level player to counteract Rashid getting into the situation to have a really advantageous level 2. And Capcom did already start to approach those situations. For example, the nerf on the frame advantage on his OD spinning mixer means he can't set up level 2 and get strong mixer pressure after doing that reversal, right? So they've already chipped away one option to set up the level 2. If Rashid does level 2 raw and neutral and you're in range, you can interrupt and punish him and prevent the level 2 from coming out. So they've already addressed one way Rashid gets into the level 2. It seems that might be the path that Capcom will take, will be reducing the number of safe and easy activations Rashid can access to mitigate the times he can actually leverage it while keeping it as strong as it is right now once on the screen. And I think that would be fair. I think once it's on the screen, it being busted is the way it is. I've dealt with it for years now across 2 titles. so I'm numb to it. But maybe they could reduce the number of ways that Rashid can safely activate it and get into his level 2. Anyways, that's all for this video. That's all for this discussion. Let me know what you guys think about Rashid level 2, about its ease of use, its applications. Does it need to be deleted? Are you also numb to its applications as I am at this point? Let me know in the comments. Peace.